Yo, Philly 254 living life. Back at it. Verizon version 1.0 has been released on, the PlayStation and on Steam. So how well does it play on the Steam Deck or the ROG Ally? Swimmingly, man. So I'm going to tell you, I actually bought this game maybe a year or two ago. I can't remember exactly when. I may have to look at my notes or something, look at my Steam purchases. But it was a while back. I bought it for the Steam, and I bought it for the Steam Deck, just for the Steam Deck. And I was playing it, and it was a pretty cool game. But the thing was, at the time, it was still in early access, so the controls were strictly PC. Now, of course, there was workarounds like you can do with any game that's more PC related, I guess PC control oriented, where you can kind of use Steam's controls for mouse and keyboard and whatnot. When I say for the PC, it means it's mouse and keyboard. Sorry. Well, the thing is, that didn't play so well, as you know. It just didn't feel right. I went through it for a little bit and played it. Because it was playable. So I played it for a little bit, and eventually I just got tired of the controls. It was just annoying. Just wasn't feeling it. So fast forward to recently, and the full release was released, and of course it had multiple DLCs and whatnot, which I just went ahead and bought them all because I actually, for all the controls, I saw the potential and I loved the game. I just didn't like the fact that it felt weird when I tried to use the Steam Deck controls. It just wasn't really meant for console controls, basically. So, but now the game is console control friendly. So, because again, like I said, it's also released on PlayStation. So how well does it play? Again, like I said, swimmingly. Great. You can really tell that it has been tailor-made. The controls, should I say, the console controls have been tailor-made for, again, consoles. So direction pads, analog sticks, all that stuff, using the right buttons, key mappings for the buttons, the ABCs and all those buttons. Amazing. Works just as planned. And I could tell the difference the minute the game started and my little vampire dude rose out of his little his coffin. It immediately could tell the difference that this was much better. So for those who don't know, Verizon, it's isometric, so meaning it's kind of top down, thinking like Diablo or something like that, Diablo 4 or whatever, but it has a whole survival mechanic to it. So you have to build things, you have to build your castle, which for whatever reason castles, at least from what I could tell, I could be wrong because I haven't gone super duper far in the game, don't have roofs. So you have to kind of build your castle. And I don't mean, when I say it doesn't have roof, I mean, it doesn't mean because it's, got that old isometric view that you just don't see it. No, it doesn't have a roof. No castles have roofs. So the whole thing is, because you're a vampire, you have to avoid the sunlight. So at nighttime, you can kind of roam whenever you want to, wherever you want to. Of course, as far as if you can handle the combat or what I guess the foes, NPCs, whatever. But as far as the minute it turns daytime, because it does have a clock, and as you can see on top of my gameplay, that little right to the left of my map, that's your little clock that lets you know when it's going to turn daytime. The yellow numbers are daytime. That means the sun's out, and you're a vampire. You burn in the sun. So as soon as the sun's out, and if you're caught in the sun, you immediately start to feel the effects of the sunlight. Your health starts going down. You start burning and whatnot. The cool thing about it, though, because you're in the forest, plenty of shadows. If you get in the shadows and kind of stick to the shadows, you can get to where you need to go. Sometimes I may have to go trek far, and I'll start in the daytime, so that way at nighttime, whenever I get to where I need to be at and I have to face an enemy, I can actually, fight it without having to stick to the shadows and duck and dodge or whatnot. So, and that's another thing. The game doesn't have levels. So I know I've mentioned Diablo, but you don't level up. The only thing they had really in common with Diablo is the whole view, really. But you don't level up. You actually, as you get better and better gear. That's your level, So, and as you, find what they call V-Bloods, which are basically like mini boss characters, and defeat them and drink their blood or whatever, it unlocks further things you can build inside your castle and whatnot. Now, kind of going back to what I was saying, the castle doesn't have a roof. What you do have is I forgot what it's called, but this little thing that basically you put bones in there and it creates an ash or cloud bone cloud above your, a little area in your castle. That way you can kind of still operate during the daytime within your castle. You can also make a coffin so that way you can kind of sleep off the daytime if you really want to. But it doesn't really fast. It's not like a fast sleep where like you go to sleep and then it's instantly nighttime. No, you're still waiting. You're still waiting the entire day cycle. The only thing that really sleeping in a coffin that I could tell really helps out with is healing injuries or whatnot. Now, being a vampire, of course, as you face different foes, you can drink their blood to get more health or whatnot. And that's kind of how the whole health system kind of works. Now, when you do face the bosses, at least in my experience, there is like a midpoint in the boss battle where they may drop a few blood orbs your way, kind of tossing you a bone because you're not going to be able to drink the blood of the bosses really until they're pretty much dead. And that's so sometimes you may need a little boost. And the bosses can get over, I guess the pressure on the bosses can sometimes be pretty high because they start bringing in more minions to kind of surround you, and it can get pretty crazy sometimes, a little hectic. Now, whenever you do drink blood, you can only do so when your enemy is pretty much low on health and they're probably about 1 or 2 hits from death anyway. So just kind of keep that in mind. Another factor is this game. Now I'm playing right now. What I'm doing is I'm doing a solo run. I just did a solo run, really just trying to understand the game. But they also have PvP and PvE modes where you basically join the server. So right now I'm a solo server, but you can join PvP and PvE servers as well. I mean, they're pretty self-explanatory. I haven't done the PvP, to be honest with you, so I don't know exactly. I mean, it's pretty, like I said, self-explanatory, but I don't know exactly how it works. I'm pretty sure you may start off with like a safe period when you first. I think you do actually, like 30 minutes or so where you can't be attacked, and you probably can't attack others, or if you do, it pretty much kills that safe period. I don't know. The PvE I did play a little bit of when I originally bought the game, like I said, like a year or two ago, whatever. And that was pretty fun. I didn't interact with a lot of other players, so can't really go into too much depth on how well that plays or how that experience is. Again, right now in the current version I'm playing now, I'm straight up 100% solo dolo. I'm just kind of doing my thing. You can see me in my little castle here. It's nighttime. I'm trying to figure out what I can do. It's plenty of building, like different. So you chop wood, you get stones, you get copper. Think of any kind of survival game, and that's kind of what you're gonna get when you think of V-Rising's survival aspect. Now, you don't lose blood as you like just walk around doing whatever. You're not gonna die in that sense, but you quickly realize combat is the way of life here. So you're gonna always have to replenish your blood by feeding on your enemies and whatnot. The game is ultimately fun. I love it. Oh, I forgot to mention, on the solo servers, you do get the option to kind of change some of the aspects of it because it's you. So you can make it, I guess, change it to where enemies may take less damage. The days go a little faster, days go a little slower. Same thing with the nights. You can change different attributes of the game to kind of fit your whatever way you want to play. You can make it less grindy or more grindy. Bottom line, I'm kind of in the middle with mine. Kind of doing my thing, kind of like I said, still learning. I'm probably going to join a PvE server here in a little bit, but right now I'm having plenty of fun just playing solo, to be honest with you. The game is fun. So the mini bosses, I forgot what they're called now, V-Bloods. Those guys, a lot of your progression is tied to them. Those V-Bloods, what you do is there's a little menu, and I don't know if it's going to show it in my little gameplay I got going here, but there's a little menu, and you can see the V-Bloods from the very beginning. You can take on the very top most powerful V-Blood if you want and die immediately, just letting you know. But the best way to go is just follow the progression, homie. And the very first one is like a wolf, like an alpha wolf, 16 level. You get that real easy. But whenever you decide to do a V-Blood quest, and again, you can do it at your own pace. You decide when you want to do a V-Blood quest. You go to that little menu, we see all the different V-Bloods. You can check out and see what you're going to get from defeating that particular V-Blood. And then you can decide whether or not you want to start the actual V-Blood hunt, which basically they call it tracking. Basically, once you start a V-Blood hunt, you'll see like a little, as you're walking around the world, you'll see like a little I guess you could say it's almost like a little red marker that kind of generally points to where the V blood is. And see, you probably see it right now. Actually, that little marker kind of pops up, and you just kind of follow it. It doesn't give you direct, directions. It doesn't tell you what road, the exact road you need to turn, because of course you're in a forest, so you don't have to follow the path. You can kind of just slide through, cut through different corners, different parts of the forest. I wouldn't suggest that if you're pretty low level, because you run across some stuff that you ain't ready for. So, but you can kind of just follow that little path, that general marker, and make your way across the forest. Eventually, you'll stumble upon the V blood. Sometimes there's been times before where I was trying to follow a marker for one V blood and stumbled across a different one. But the only this is the weird thing about it. When that happened, the different V blood that I did stumble across, yeah, I beat them. I was able to beat them or whatever. Because sometimes you have V bloods and different. It's like multiple V bloods in one little tree area. I don't want to say tree area, but if you look at the V blood list, you'll see, for example, the lowest V blood, which is the Alpha Wolf, is just him. And then the next level up is like two other guys, separate, completely separate. You have to face them each, or find them, or maybe three other people, and you find them each separately. Well, when I was searching for one, I stumbled upon the other, and I beat him. And I got some rewards or whatever, but it didn't show me the full in-game rewards for for example, when you beat certain V-Bloods, it may unlock a new building type that you can use in your castle. It didn't do that. I had to actually go ahead and finish my other V-Blood quest, and then set my marker to actually hunt down that specific one that I already beat. And then once I beat him, then it unlocked the castle unlocks, which I found kind of weird. I mean, had I known that, I wouldn't have wasted my time facing him in the first place, or I would at least turn the track on to find him before I killed him. But yeah, it's whatever. That's a little quirky. I hope they kind of fix that. Other than that, man, the game is really fun, because then again, it's all up to you. You don't have to face the V blood. I think that's me killing one right there. Matter of fact, you don't have to face the V bloods. You can do that at your own pace. But just keep in mind, those V bloods are also tied to your levels, and your levels are also tied to your levels are pretty much tied to your gear. So you can kill as many enemies as you want. You still will stay at level 5 or level 6 or whatever. It's not until you start getting better gear, and that's when your gear level, basically they call it gear level, will start to increase. Which your gear level is basically your level. And if you are not facing V bloods, you're not gonna get some of the required. Sometimes they'll give you some gears directly, and sometimes they'll give you the actual buildings, or I guess schematics or blueprints, in order to build the items or the buildings that you need in order to create that gear. You're not going to get that unless you beat that V-Blood. You're not going to get away from just not fighting V-Bloods. So just kind of keep that in mind. It's a fun game. It's a really, really fun game. I'm lost and immersed in it, man. And I love fighting games, but I'm over here just playing this like it ain't nothing. It's a really fun game. Tell me in the comments. Have y'all been playing it, or have you tried it? Have you tried it, or have you played it and kind of let it go and haven't tried it since? And now would be your first time coming back to it, kind of like me. Because the game, I don't know if it's still up. Because by the time I recorded this, I don't know if it's still, the Steam sale is going. But the game was on a Steam sale for a whole minute. So I would say definitely check it out. It's worth the purchase. It's a fun game. If you like these type of games. If you don't like these type of games, it's not going to change your mind. But it kind of mixed the whole survival genre with the whole isometric Diablo kind of vibe going. And it's definitely worth the purchase in my book. I'm having fun. I played Diablo 4 and I got tired of that after like 2 weeks. It just felt like, okay, so this is the grind. This game definitely has its grind, its game loop, but it doesn't feel as grindy and game loopy as Diablo 4 did. I don't know, man. It's a fun game. Check it out. I may just let this continue to play, so you can kind of see me get killed or whatever happens in this gameplay footage. If you like more Steam Deck or ROG Ally news, walkthrough, lives, gameplay, like and subscribe. Cruise through the playlist. And I'm out.
got you something special.
Wanna try?
Can I interest you in a little something?
Blood, restore my body.
One chance to run. It's going to get a lot more difficult in a moment. hot-blooded. Let me cool you off. You shouldn't be here, and soon you won't be.
Blood sustains me. My blood, restore my body. Drink my kin. Blood sustains me.
Freeze!
regeneration.
Freeze! Freeze! Miscalculated.
New. Yet another accomplishment.